Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate ringsidenews.com. As you can see, I am wearing the official NoDQ&A video t-shirt, which you can get on ProWrestlingTees.com. Search for NoDQ or check out the link in the description box. That would be a great way to support the videos if you enjoy watching them. Anyways, got your questions here from spring.me/AaronRift. Let's get started with the first one today from the Heel Player. What did you think about the Give Divas a Chance trending on Twitter? I hope now that WWE will listen to their fans, but of course it's highly unlikely for that to happen, sadly. Damn it, Vince. Well, both Vince and Stephanie responded to comments from AJ Lee. AJ Lee followed up on the whole hashtag and gave her 2 cents, talking about how the divas are underpaid compared to the male wrestlers. Who knows if this is legit or some sort of storyline or a mix of both. Regardless of the case, both Vince and Stephanie publicly responded saying, wait and see, thank you for your opinion, yada, yada, yada. Time will tell if WWE really does take the Divas division seriously. Based off of Raw, it certainly doesn't seem to be the case, but as we can tell by watching NXT, WWE certainly has the talent. They have the females that can go out there and perform at a level that the men can perform at. And it's just a matter of WWE really having confidence in the women and looking at them as more than just eye candy. I think with the current crop of divas, WWE sees them as eye candy. They're women that can pose in magazines and do photo shoots and sell posters. That's what WWE sees in the divas. Unfortunately, they don't see them as performers that can go out there and have 15, 20-minute matches, which is really unfortunate. I mean, look at NXT. The diva matches have been tremendous in NXT, and they are given opportunities to go out there, and those matches are just as good as the male matches. But, maybe if Charlotte gets to the main roster and some of these other divas, Sasha Banks, if they're given an opportunity, WWE can really revamp the Divas division and give it some credibility. It can certainly happen if WWE wants it to happen. It's just a matter of, do they want to, or do they want to continue just looking at the Divas as nothing more than eye candy? All right, this one comes from Dave451985. So a part-time champion, a guy who won't even have a promo until Mania, The Undertaker, a guy who won't say a word. Am I the only one who thinks this is the worst build-up to a Mania in a long time? I can't remember being this uninterested going in before. All right, well, let's start off with Undertaker. I've gotten quite a few questions about The Undertaker. There's talk out there, there's speculation that WWE is going to keep Undertaker off of the television shows and not have him appear until WrestleMania. And that has gotten some people out there upset about that possibility. I think some people want to see Undertaker come out and do a promo towards Bray Wyatt to accept the match or whatever. I actually think that it's a good idea to not have Undertaker appear until WrestleMania. The streak is over. There is no streak. Not having Undertaker appear, I think that creates some mystique and some intrigue. What will Undertaker look like? Will he still be able to perform? There's a lot of questions. I think having it be a mystery if The Undertaker is going to show up, and if he does, what kind of shape he'll be in. I think that's actually a very good hook for that match. It will get a bit stale, 4 or 5 weeks of Bray Wyatt coming out and calling out The Undertaker to no response. But, the last week, the lights can go out. Maybe The Undertaker's symbol will appear and, it'll set on fire. They can do all sorts of different things without actually having The Undertaker show up so fans know The Undertaker is going to be at WrestleMania. Then you wonder what kind of shape he's going to be in. As far as the build-up for WrestleMania, they still have plenty of time to build it up. I was very harsh on how WWE booked Randy Orton this week, but as a lot of people pointed out, they still have 4 weeks to turn the storyline around. I don't know if I'm ever going to have as much interest in Orton versus Rollins as I did before Orton came back. I mean, Raw definitely hurt my interest in that match, but they still have 4 weeks. Anything can happen, so we'll just have to wait and see. It's too early to say that the build-up to Mania has been a flop. All right, this one comes from TMNT Brownie 33. Hey Aaron, I know it's hard to say if this match will happen, but do you think Sting could come out at the end of Undertaker's match at WrestleMania, point the bat to the WrestleMania sign, and issue a challenge a year ahead for WrestleMania 32, kind of similar to what happened with Rock and Cena on Raw? Thanks. If it was to happen, I don't think it would happen at WrestleMania. I think that would be overkill. I think a lot of it will depend on how Undertaker's match goes and how Sting's match goes. Can both of those guys still go out there and have a memorable match and perform at the level you would expect performers to be at WrestleMania? If both matches go over really well, maybe WWE will go with that for WrestleMania 32, a way for both guys to end their careers facing each other at WrestleMania 32. That would be an interesting possibility. I think if that was to happen the night after WrestleMania at Raw, I think that would be a more fitting place to have it be done. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not. It might be too little, too late for that match. Both guys I think are at the point where they need somebody younger to carry the match. Undertaker and Sting going out there. I don't know how good that match would be, and I think that match would have been more effective 3 or 4 years ago. I think people just need to let it go. I think that Sting and Triple H has better potential to be a good match. Triple H will carry it, and I think that the odds are that will be a better match than Undertaker and Sting would have been even 3 or 4 years ago. I think Triple H can still go out there and tell a story in the ring, and he can get the most out of Sting, I think. All right, this one comes from I Am Stosha. Hey Aaron, do you think it would be a missed opportunity having Sting and Undertaker on the same card at WrestleMania, but in separate matches? To me, it's very disappointing if this is the case. Your thoughts, please. Going back to a few minutes ago, I think people just need to let it go. Undertaker and Sting, 3 years ago, I think that match would have been hot, but the whole issue with Sting and Undertaker is they're both baby faces, and I don't think it would be a good idea for Sting to come in his first match and lose. And when Undertaker's streak was still intact, Sting ending the streak, I don't know how over that would have gone with people. I just think it's better to go in a different direction with Sting versus Triple H. To me, that's the best match you can do, not just because of the quality of the match, but also because Triple H represents the Attitude Era and Sting represents WCW. So it is, as they've been building it up, WWE versus WCW. I just think that that's a better match when you look at all the pros and cons. I think WWE made the right decision going with Sting versus Triple H. All right, this one comes from Noel804. Higher with Miz getting put in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, there will be no one-on-one match with Mizdow at WrestleMania. Do you think WWE is just going to scrap the whole angle, or are they just holding it off for a later time? Well, I'm really disappointed if we don't get Miz versus Mizdow at WrestleMania. They've been building up to that for so long now, but I guess maybe WWE feels that's not high profile enough to be on the WrestleMania card. I guess there's always a possibility it could be a pre-show match in addition to both of them being in the Andre Battle Royal, but my guess is probably not, and they'll both be in the Andre Battle Royal, and what I'm guessing will happen is Mizdow eliminates The Miz, and they'll just have their match on Raw. Their one-on-one match will take place on a Monday Night Raw, which sucks. I mean, they spent all this time building it up. You would think that they would just go with that match for WrestleMania, but whatever. What do I know? They just want to get as many people on the card for WrestleMania as possible. So, they really don't care about, having a one-on-one match between two comedy mid-card guys. All right, got this one here from Kayfabe Candy Ass. Hope you bought a shirt, Mr. Kayfabe, because you submit all the questions. So you seem to enjoy an NoDQ&A video. Hopefully you will show your support, get a t-shirt, and take a picture with it. I would like to see that, actually. So anyways, here's your question. So why do you think the WWE is going to do the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania again, and why should we care when they didn't even put it over by giving Cesaro a real push subsequent to winning? Well, that is a very good question. I'm not really a big fan of this match taking place again. I know why it's being done, because it's a good way to get a ton of people on the WrestleMania card. But, as you mentioned, Cesaro really went nowhere after winning last year's Battle Royal. And what's going to happen this year, though? The winner gets buried for the next 8 to 10 months? I mean, it's hard to take it seriously. The credibility of the Battle Royal has already been wasted because of what happened with Cesaro. Or what didn't happen with Cesaro. As far as who wins this year, I mean, I guess the odds-on favorite right now would be Ryback, but I'll wait to give my predictions for a later date. I guess there is no real good reason to care. I mean, the winner gets a trophy and gets buried for 8 months. I mean, that's really what it is, unless WWE, adds a stipulation where the winner gets a guaranteed title shot. I mean, maybe that would add some more credibility. I really don't know. But yeah, up to this point, I really don't care about the Battle Royal. To me, it's just filler. All right, last question here comes from Breast for Business. Hey Aaron, could you one day see the Nation of Domination going into the Hall of Fame? Please answer in video. If Coco Beware can get in, if the Bushwhackers could get in, you could say anybody could get in the Hall of Fame. But in the case of Nation of Domination, I think that it's probably not going to happen, because with the Nation of Domination, it was a very controversial storyline that they were involved in. WWE going into the area of racism and making that a storyline. And I think in today's PG environment, WWE doesn't really want to showcase that stuff. So because of that, I think the odds are very much against the group going in. They did have somewhat of an impact, but nothing all that significant to where I feel it's justified for them to go into the Hall of Fame. I really do feel it's unlikely it'll happen. All right, that'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ&A Video. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com. Lots of news going around right now about Brock Lesnar and why he wasn't on Raw. Check out NoDQ.com, and I'll be back with more NoDQ&A video this week. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. YouTube.com/NoDQCAW. Tell a friend about NoDQ&A video on Facebook and Twitter. Buy the t-shirt at ProWrestlingTees.com. Check the description box for more, and I'll see you guys next time.